What, you want me to talk about the upcoming Pokemon Legends ZA? Nah, it's probably gonna suck anyways.
Get your fucking dog in!
Instead, as a straight cis male, I thought we could talk about balls.
You're a dick. With balls.
Officer Balls.
Okay, I think I got all the balls jokes out of the way. Today, I want to talk about Pokeballs because it's a very neglected aspect of Pokemon gameplay. Game Freak developer seems to have lost interest in improving them or changing them. Pokeballs are part of the essential core gameplay when playing a Pokemon game, therefore catching the Pokemon. I would argue catching Pokemon is the core pillar of the series alongside exploration, battles, beating bad guys, underage girls, and furries. Ever since Generation 1, the way to catch Pokemon has basically remained the same, excluding the Legends games. During battle, no matter the catch rate of an individual Pokemon, what you do to improve the odds like lowering their HP or causing status effects, in the end, whether the catch is successful or not has been purely dependent on RNG. They did introduce variations of Pokeball types to range RNG odds. They introduced Great, Ultra, and of course the Master Ball. After that, in Generation 2, they introduced new gimmicks balls by creating the Apricot system and introducing the character of Kurt, a ball ball maker that lives in Azalea Town. In subsequent generations, Game Freak kept adding more new Pokeball variants that had special gimmicks to them, with some of them becoming one of the most useful items in the game. There was the Net Ball and Timer Ball in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, and the Dusk Ball and Quick Ball in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. But after Generation 4, the Pokemon video game series entered Game Freak after Gen 4 basically stopped adding new balls to the game. I mean, there were some minor additions, but they were all either one-off gimmicks or just there for visual flair. Don't believe me? In Generation 5, Game Freak introduced only one ball, and a lame one too. It was the Dream Ball, which was basically a gimmick ball that you just use when you catch Pokemon in the Entra Link. The Entra Link is useless these days because A, the Nintendo DS Wi-Fi network has been dead over a decade at this point, and B, most of you will be probably playing DS Pokemon games on emulators anyways. Thank you so much, eBay scalpers. After Generation 5, which ended over a decade ago by the way, we've only been introduced to two new Pokeballs. First was the Beast Ball, which is at least usable anywhere, but its only gimmick was that it was good at catching Ultra Beasts. So unless you're trying to flex catching a Rayquaza with a Beast Ball to show that you have the RNG of Dream Minecraft speedrun or something, it's another ball that's too situational. The other ball that was introduced post-Gen 5 was the Strange Ball, but it doesn't even count really because it's just a placeholder item that's used post-Gen 8 whenever a game can't register a ball that's not in the game code. Now, I know technically Legends Arceus introduced a lot of new balls, but I don't count them because the entire catching gameplay of Legends Arceus is completely different from the main series. So in conclusion, the last time Game Freak tried to innovate with the new Pokemon types was Generation 4, literally 18 years ago at the time of this video's making. Diddy or Drake won't touch those balls anymore, they're too old. It's really shocking for me personally because the Pokeball is the mascot of the Pokemon franchise. The Pokeball is very simple and very recognizable to this day. So much so that I would argue it's up there with iconic logos like the Superman emblem or the Apple logo. Why did you stop making new Pokeballs, Pokemon developers?
I mean, what happened? Your balls drop off?
As such, for the rest of the video, since Game Freak refuses to acknowledge the balls, fine, I'll make the new Pokeball variants myself. Here's some fun Pokeball ideas that I think Game Freak could introduce to improve the series, hopefully in the upcoming Generation 10 games. Number 1, the Jet Ball. I want to get this one out of the way first because this ball actually exists already. If you don't remember, the Jet Ball was actually introduced in Pokemon Legends Arceus alongside the Wing Ball and Feather Ball. In this game, because the game had real-time catching mechanics unlike the mainline series, the special effects had more to do with the physics of the game. It was a ball that was meant to be easier to catch your Pokemon that are far away, where the ball would go in a straight line at high speed. My proposal is simple, and it's to bring this Pokemon to the mainline series game, with a modern design that fits the current Pokeball aesthetic. However, since the mainline games are turn-based and have nothing to do with the actual catch physics, let's just assign a type of Pokemon that it's effective against, similar to the Net Ball being effective against water and bug type Pokemon. And what type do the words Feather, Wing, and Jet evoke? Obviously the answer is flying and dragon type Pokemon. I propose the Jet Ball be effective against flying and dragon type Pokemon. If used against the flying or dragon type Pokemon, the Jet Ball has a 3 times catch rate modifier. Why include dragon type balls out of nowhere when it's clearly a ball meant for birds?
Bird.
Well, it's because of a reason I'll get to later in the video. I have a bigger plan in design, you'll see.
Trust me.
Now, I do want to mention that Pokemon Legends Arceus also introduced the Heavy, Leaden, and Gigantum Ball at the same time, which had the opposite effect of the Jet Ball. However, the Heavy Ball technically already exists in the game, so we can't really bring it over, but I do like the history design of the Heavy Ball compared to the original Gray-Blue one by Kurt. After all...
Black balls, my favorite.
Number 2. Wood Ball and Blaze Ball. The effect will be simple. Wood Ball has higher catch rate against grass and poison type Pokemon, while Blaze Ball has higher catch rate against fire and fighting type Pokemon. Okay, these ones might seem really random at first, so let me explain. And I have to start with a rant about how Game Freak seems to favor the water type first. Yeah, this might seem ironic coming from the Hoenn Glazer guy whose favorite starter for decades was Mudkip, but I really have to call out Game Freak's dick riding of the water type, especially when it comes to balls, no pun intended. I mean, we already have the Net Ball, which has a higher catch rate modifier for bug and water type Pokemon, which alone will be fine, but that doesn't stop there. We also have the Lure Ball, which has a higher catch rate modifier for Pokemon that are caught while fishing, and guess what type the 95% of Pokemon caught while fishing are? There's also the Dive Ball, which has a higher catch rate modifier for Pokemon that you meet in the water.
Spider-Man was a hero.
You see what I mean? Out of all the Pokemon variants, there's 3 balls that give water type Pokemon advantages in capture, and it's insane. Here's where my proposed Wood Ball and Blaze Ball comes in. Consider that the traditional 3 starter types are indeed grass, fire, and water. I propose we give the Wood Ball for grass type and Blaze Ball for fire. And since the Net Ball included another random type that raised the catch rate, which was the bug type, we should add one to the Wood Ball and Blaze Ball each as well too. I picked Poison for the Wood Ball because Woodland, Jungle often have poison themes in video games. Just look at any jungle level in the New Super Mario Bros. Games. I mean, hell, the original Grass starter was half poison type as well. And as for Blaze Ball, this one was a tricky one. Let's include fighting type alongside fire type since the fighting spirit of the human soul is a fiery hot flame of heart.
In the burning heart, just about to burst.
I don't know, this one made sense in my head. Wait, is that the reason why there are so many fire fighting type starter Pokemons?
Oh my god. I get it.
Number 3, Shadow Ball, Magic Ball, Mineral Ball, and Industrial Ball. Gee, we're only at number 3 and we're already introducing 4 balls? The more the balls, the better I guess. For these, Shadow Ball has higher catch rate against Dark and Ghost type Pokemon, Magic Ball has higher catch rate against Fairy and Psychic, Mineral Ball has higher catch rate against Ground and Rock, and Industrial Ball has higher catch rate against Electric and Steel. The actual reason I introduced 4 balls is simple. It's to cover all the types. After all, while I was writing the script for this video, I realized that the types specializing in Pokeball shouldn't just end with grass, fire, and water. Why not cover all the other types as well? To explain the naming and type selection of these Pokeballs, here's my explanation. I always thought Dark type and Ghost type kinda went hand in hand, so they're grouped together with the Shadow Ball cause, you know, do you expect ghosts to appear in front of you in broad daylight or in the pitch black dark? I grouped Fairy and Psychic type together as the Magic Ball because they're kind of both about magic, psychic force powers, and things you see in fairy tales, and they both have pink as their type color representation. Grouping Ground and Rock type is obvious, but it was harder to come up with a name for it until I channeled my inner Hank Schrader to call it the Mineral Ball. And lastly, because I like the Magnezone Pokemon line so much, I grouped Electric type and Steel type as one, and as both are used in industries a lot, let's call it the Industrial Ball. With these 4 new balls I introduced, plus previously mentioned Jet Ball, Wood Ball, and Blaze Ball, and the existing Net Ball, I believe this covers 16 out of 18 Pokemon types. All that's left is the Ice type and Normal type. Honestly, I'm out of ideas for these. If you have some idea to find a common denominator between being icy,
Let's kick some ice.
and being normal,
Yeah, I'm man.
write down in the comments below. Personally, I'll just fit the ice type with the net ball since ice is just frozen water, but I have no freaking clue what to do with the normal type. Number 4. Slow Ball and Light Ball. Time for the opposites. In the spirit of the stupidity that was Son of Sun versus Knight of Night. Wow, that's a deep cut joke that requires elite ball knowledge. For this section, I wanted to introduce balls that have the opposite effect of existing balls. Firstly, the fastball exists. It's a Pokeball where if a wild Pokemon has a base speed stat of 100 or more, the ball has a 4-time catch rate modifier. It's a very versatile ball where anything that is faster or equal to Charizard will be caught easier. According to Bulbapedia, I kid you not, there is currently 150 of them. The curse continues, oh my god. So for the opposite, how about for the slow ball? If a wild Pokemon has a base speed stat of 50 or less, the ball has a 4-times catch rate modifier. Anything that is slower or equal to a Muck or Nidoran, it'll be easier to catch. This will be the ball where it'll be madness not to catch a Shuckle with. Second, the Heavy Ball is also a Pokeball that already exists. Personally, I think Heavy Ball might have the most interesting mechanic out of all the Pokeballs because it's based off of a stat you normally don't really care about when playing Pokemon. After all, Pokemon weight is something you can't even see on the status screen unless you go into the Pokédex info. Anyways, a Pokeball that has the exact opposite effect will make sense. If you want to catch a Pokemon that took a lot of Ozempics, the Light Ball will work. If your Pokemon is between 0 kilograms and 100 kilograms, that's about 0 to 220 pounds in tariff units for my less smarter audience, the Light Ball will be your best pick. Number 5. Motion Ball. Now we finally get to the ones where it's not building upon ideas from Pokeballs that already exist. And first, it's the Motion Ball. And the effect is simple. Pokemon has slightly higher catch rate if you encounter Pokemon while in motion. In other words, while riding a bike. After all, there are already balls that are affected by the movement you do in the overworld. The lure ball works when you're fishing. I thought about calling it Bike Ball, but there are some Pokemon games where bikes don't exist, and I think opening up the possibility of movement mechanics in the overworld that does not involve bikes is better game design. This idea for the Motion Ball actually stems from Pokemon Sun and Moon. I wonder how many will agree with me on this, but in the Generation 7 games, there was this pet peeve that drove me bananas while playing it. You know, in those games, whenever you rode on Pokemon like Tauros, the game would switch you to this ugly EE-ass riding outfit? If it only happened in the overworld, it would have been fine, but every time you went into battle while riding a Pokemon, you still wore this stupid riding costume, and it was really annoying. What's the point of character customization when you're gonna be wearing the same ugly outfit for most of the battles? They were blue balling us back then. Anyways, I thought that a little compensation for having to wear those stupid riding outfits could be nice, and a ball that is affected by riding Pokemon would do really well in the Generation 7 games. Hence the Motion Ball. Number 6. Bling Ball. As you can guess from the name, the ball I'm about to propose is all about flexing how nice your balls are. After all, you need to be proud of the balls you give to your Pokemon. Let's say you have a Meowscarada or Lopunny that you're really proud of and want to flex it in front of people. You want to give them the good balls. After all, there's no laws against that Pokemon. I'm gonna do it, man! Okay, in all seriousness, I thought this ball would be the exact same as the Luxury Ball, but much more expensive. The Luxury Ball is only 3,000 Pokédollars. That is 3 times more than other Pokéballs, which are 1,000 Pokédollars, but we can do better than that. After all, if a Pokédollar costs the same as Japanese yen in real life, it will be only worth around 20 US dollars. No, let's do something better. Something that could be worth, I don't know, 10 times more? I propose the Bling Ball. Have the same effect as the Luxury Ball, giving Pokemon you catch friendship points, but be worth 30,000 Pokédollars. That's worth only 6 nuggets. Considering how much Pokemon fans love to grind, that's not a lot if you think about it. For the design, I think it should be gold, and it shines whenever used in battle for that bling effect like its namesake. Shiny! Number 7. The Single Ball. No, I don't mean the mustache man from Germany or Austria. For this one, I want to propose this Pokeball for a certain underrated type of Pokemon that I like. And that is the single evolution line Pokemon, also known as Pokemon that are not part of an evolutionary line according to Bulbapedia. I don't know, man. I just think Pokemon like these are unique and fun. Pokemon that were designed not to grow up to a more evolved form. Kangaskhan, Heracross, Mawile, Sigilyph are all pretty iconic, and I have a soft side for them. So a Pokeball that has a higher catch rate for single evolution Pokemon is what I propose, and the name Single Ball will make sense. Also, if you think about it, most single evolution Pokemon have low catch rates for them, and they're usually hard to find in the wild as well. They're meant to be hard to get, so a ball dedicated to this niche Pokemon kind will have a nice gameplay function to it as well, to bring down the RNG dependency. Now the question is, would the Single Ball have a higher catch rate against legendary Pokemon? After all, most legendary Pokemon are not part of an evolutionary line. This one is kind of tricky because I do want to give a special highlight treatment to single evolution Pokemon that aren't legendaries, because legendary Pokemon are way too overexposed in my opinion. So to make it fair, I think the official criteria for the Single Ball to have a higher catch rate is this: be not part of an evolutionary line and be able to breed. After all, except for one Pokemon, all legendary Pokemon cannot breed. They're Reddit Discord mods. So the Single Ball will only be able to work on Pokemon with no evolution lines that aren't legendaries. Number 8. Mega Ball and Variant Ball. These ones are simple, and you can probably guess their function just from the names. The inspiration for these were easy, and it was the Moon Ball, a ball specifically for only Pokemon that evolved with the Moonstone. Was this ball designed by the freaking Jonkler? Probably the dumbest ball idea that was invented by my man Kurt, because how many Pokemon evolved with the Moonstone? Anyways, if Game Freak devs are willing to give special ball types for Pokemon that evolve in a certain way, why don't we do that for Mega Evolution and regional forms as well? I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I believe Mega Evolution and regional forms are like the two best gimmicks that most Pokemon fans universally like. They're both ways to give old classic Pokemon a new spin on them. I mean, they're making another game entirely about Mega Evolution in 2025, and every Generation is 7 introduced regional variant forms. So I think a Pokeball that incorporates the Mega Evolution symbol will be cool looking. After all, the Mega Evolution logo is quite fire and iconic at this point. Also, a ball name like Mega Ball writes all the jokes by themselves. Are those mega-sized balls for me? A gay Bengrim said.
Say that again?
As for regional variant, it's a shame that we don't have a dedicated logo for them like Mega Evolution, Terrestrialization, Z-Move, or whatever. So, the design will be whatever my illustrator Solar cooks up, and you're seeing on screen right now. I hope it looks good because I'm gonna fire him and replace him with a Clanker if it isn't. Number 9. The GS Ball. Okay, so this one is a can of worms. A Pokeball full of ore forms and wiglets, if you will. Anyone who grew up with watching the Johto arc of the Pokemon anime knows what the GS Ball is, and mere mentioning of it will probably bring back foul memories of disappointment. Basically, it was a J.J. Abrams styles mystery box MacGuffin item that Professor Ivy gave Ash and the gang. Remember her? She possessed 2 great reasons to remember her for. Anyways, Ash carried this thing around as a mysterious item, but something happened during the production of the anime, and due to behind the scenes plan changes, the writer decided to write the GS Ball out. Ash left it with Kurt to study the ball, and it has never been seen or mentioned in an anime ever since. And since Ash has retired from the anime now, this story thread is dead for sure. It's been 25 years, let it go. As for the games, apparently the GS Ball was a Japan-only event item in Pokemon Crystal, where obtaining it will allow you to summon Celebi and catch it in an Elex forest. And in the virtual console release of the game on the 3DS, the item was available in the Western versions as well. And that's about it. After all the hype, the MacGuffin item was just a lame ball that was just used once to summon Celebi.
That's it? That's the last
Balls! Let's change that. Let's bring back the GS Ball and make it an actual Pokeball that you can use and throw in battle. This one was really tricky. I did some brainstorming on what functions it can have. Because the GS Ball stands for Gold Silver Ball, yeah, the devs weren't really creative with the naming. I thought a ball that was effective against gold and silver colored Pokemon might be fun. Then I thought, what counts as gold and silver colored Pokemon? Does Sandslash count as golden? Does Mightyena count as silver? After that felt like a bad idea, I thought, hey, a Pokeball that has a higher catch rate for all Johto Pokemon. After all, there's only 100 of them, and I feel like we're never getting Johto remakes again, or Pokemon Legends Johto games. Why not give Johto, the shafted and forgotten region, some little special treatment? So that's what I proposed. GS Ball will be a ball that's effective against Pokemon that first originated in Pokemon Gold and Silver, aka National Dex number 152 to 251. Okay, future Gireum here. As I was editing this video, the whole Freak leak incident happened where hackers leaked information about Game Freak concerning Pokémon ZA and future projects. And it turns out, they were going to do a Johto Legends game but got canned for unknown reasons. Truly the shafted region. Number 10. Shiny Ball. As for the last Pokeball today, I am honestly proud of myself for thinking of this one because I really like the idea and wish it was a real thing in the games, and that is the Shiny Ball. Now, you might just think this is just a Pokeball with a high catch rate for shiny Pokemon, but that's only partially the case. And here is the effect I propose for the Shiny Ball. For shiny Pokemon, the catch rate will be 100% guaranteed. However, for non-shiny normal Pokemon, the catch rate will be 1 out of 4096, which is the spawn rate of shiny Pokemon, by the way. Let me explain. You know when you meet a shiny Pokemon in the wild, you're always afraid that you will not have enough Pokeballs to catch it, or even worse, accidentally make it faint and it's gone forever? Well, the Shiny Ball will prevent this from happening. Never again will you miss out on a shiny and remain a trauma in your life. Shiny Ball will act like the Master Ball against shiny Pokemon. For normal Pokemon, however, I was inspired by the Beast Ball in Pokemon Sun and Moon for this. Remember how in the Generation 7 games, the Beast Ball gave you a high catch rate for the Ultra Beast Pokemon, but for normal Pokemon, it would actually make it harder to catch? Basically, it will be the same principle, but with shiny Pokemon instead of Ultra Beasts. Except the odds are as low as the shiny encounter rate, that being 1 in 4096. I think it would be really funny if there's a ball that has such a low catch rate of 1 in 4096. The streams that Pokemon fans can do for this will be really funny. The level of grindness that is required will be perfect for Pokemon fans. It will be a status symbol if a player uses this Pokeball during tournaments, except instead of flexing how much money you have, it's flexing how much time you've wasted in front of a Nintendo console screen. So that's the Shiny Ball. It'll serve two purposes: prevent you from losing out on catching a shiny Pokemon, and give normal Pokemon the possibility of rarity as a shiny Pokemon. Now, will this Pokeball be affected by the Masuda method, Shiny Charm, or chain encounters or whatever?
I don't care.
And if they aren't going to add new Pokeballs, a lot of the existing balls are kind of useless too. Here's some quick ideas to improve them. Firstly, like previously mentioned, the Moon Ball is useless. How about instead of just Moon Ball, let's change the name to Stone Ball and have it so that it's good at catching all Pokemon that's part of an evolutionary line that evolves with a stone. Second, the Safari Ball has no function to it because the original gimmick of being used in Safari areas is useless because Safaris don't exist in modern Pokemon games anymore. It literally has no special effect to it other than the cool looking military color design. How about we change it so that the Safari Ball has a higher catch rate modifier when the Pokeball is used in a savanna or grass plain-esque biome? A Pokeball that's affected by where a battle takes place sounds like a fun concept, no? Certainly, the Heal Ball is mostly useless because it's so easy to heal Pokemon in the overworld. After all, visiting the Pokemon Center is free and unlimited because this isn't the United States of America. So how about we make it so that Pokemon and Heal Balls get slightly healed over time outside of battle in the overworld. That way, it won't affect the competitive battle scene. And lastly, this is a simple idea that could apply to all Pokeball variants. You know how people really like having the Pokeball a Pokemon is contained in a similar color to the Pokemon? Like, since Groudon is red, you have to catch it with the basic Pokeball. Zekrom is white, so you have to catch it with the Premier Ball. Palkia is pink, so you have to catch it with a Heal Ball. How about we make it so that every Pokeball has a slightly higher catch rate if the ball is the same color as the wild Pokemon? Just food for thought. One of my personal favorite changes in Generation 7 was the fact that NPCs began to use unique Pokeballs depending on their character and Pokemon they use. Like, you have to admit, the evil bosses in the Ultra Rainbow Rocket episode using Master Balls for all of their Pokemon was kinda metal. So if they cared about Pokeballs that much, why did they stop adding new ones after Generation 4? It really is a big mystery for me. Consider all the merchandise they put out for the Pokeballs. Many people love collecting these. The fact that there hasn't been a major shake-up of Pokeballs since Generation 4 really shows how outdated the Pokeball system is at the moment. The purpose of this video was to throw out ideas in the hope that more Pokemon fans see the possibility of newer Pokeball variants. And maybe Game Freak will hear the voice of need for new Pokeball variants. Hopefully, My little video throwing out random ideas filled to the brim with corny balls jokes contributes to something. And hey, I'm not the first to make naughty jokes about the Pokeballs. Official Pokemon media have been doing it since the 90s. Anyways, out of all the new Pokeballs I introduced, what is your favorite out of these, design-wise and or function-wise? I personally really like the design of the motion ball and the function of the shiny ball. Type in the comments what you think below. Also, if you have any creative new Pokemon ideas that I couldn't think of, tell us your crazy ideas in the comment section as well. Oh, and of course I have to give out a shout out to my buddy Solar, who came up with all the new unique designs of the Pokeballs. Link to Solar's socials are in the description below, go support him please. And finally, thank you Jerry Cans for being patient with my upload schedule. The reason I haven't been uploading much recently is, well, I now have a full-time 9 to 6 job in an East Asian country. I am absolutely cooked with life at the moment, but the Pokemon franchise is calling me again by threatening with a new release. You'll be hearing from me again quite soon. Don't you worry about Pokemon Legends ZA. Until then, Officer Balls!